Hello everybody, welcome to my class. My name is Kesiwegbe. Today we're making an African inspired side stool. I'm so excited. So this is a very fun project. I love this project and I'm using a stool. I told my carpenter to make me this stool and the plain wood for the top. I gave him the height I wanted, but of course I measured my tire to be sure that my tire can sit on that stool without any problem. So you have to measure your tire, and that's the size you give your carpenter. So he made this for me. It was really cheap. He made it for about 4,000 naira. Now I'm using Ankara fabric, of course. I got plain and pattern. I love the yellow. It's really lovely. And I have my tire. Of course, you have to wash it and clean it up. Then I got this 1-inch foam. I got about 2 yards of this. It's just a regular 1-inch foam. You can find this where they sell open mattresses and so on. So the first thing I would do is to go ahead and I'll measure my tire. I'll measure it in such a way that I would make sure my tape is going inside on both sides. Okay, so this is very, very important because you're going to be toughing in your stuff inside, and the measurement for that, as you can see, is 23 inches. So that is the measurement that I got for the I think the width or the length rather. So now we will go around and measure the length of the tire. So we're going to do this round on all the tires, and most times if your tire is really big, your tape might not be able to measure it. So you have to stop at a point and continue to get the actual measurement. And the measurement I got was 83 inches, so it's really big. Okay, you could use a smaller tire. So now I'll cut my foam to that size, or I might even add 1 extra inch or 2. Okay, so now that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting my foam to 83 by 23 inches. Once I've done that, I'll get my glue. I'm using a shoe glue. We also call it gum. So because this was an impromptu project, I had to quickly just get the glue on a weekend, like on a Sunday, so I couldn't get much, so it was in a bottle. So I advise you to make sure you get enough and make sure it's in a plastic, because eventually my bottle broke while making this, and it was really sad and all that. So I didn't have enough to work with. So you want to make sure you have enough and make sure you apply it really well. So now I'm gluing the foam to the tire. I'll just continue to glue. It takes a while for it to just hold, but just go ahead and do it. There's another way to do this. I'll be teaching you guys in another video how to use your stapler to hold that in the foam, but for this video we're using our glue, which is something that everybody can find around. So just watch me as I continue to glue this down. It's really tedious, but you can do it. Of course you can do it. Now I'm working on the other side, and it's the same process. You just have to use your glue and you have to keep tucking this in on both sides. So that's why when you're measuring, you want to make sure your measuring tape goes inside the tire so that you get the accurate measurement you need for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue gluing this down all the way till all my foam is completely inside. Phew, we're almost done with this, but I still had an opening, so I had to cut a little bit of foam to cover that part up. Okay, so please make sure when you're measuring or cutting your foam, you want to cut extra so you don't have to do this. All right, now it's time to work on the topping, and I got my plank, so I'm going to apply my glue on one side of the round plank. Then once I do this, I'll turn it over and place it on top of the foam. Just watch and see what I'm doing. So now I've done the same thing. I flipped this over. I wanted to use the glue to glue this over, but no, it was not working. So instead I'm going to use my tack nail and hammer to just fix this. Just watch and see what I'll do. So I'm using this yellow fabric. Like I said earlier, it's really flashy. I find it that when you use a plain and an Ankara, it comes out really well and makes the stuff really beautiful. So I'm applying the fabric on my workstation first, then I'll place the board with the foam on top, and I'll use my tack nails to fold this over and attach it to the board. You can just watch and see how I'll do this. You can see that I'm trying to make sure I fold this really well, and I want to make sure that I'm dragging the foam and the fabric so that by the time I'm done, the other part is not looking rough or anything like that. So once you drag it really well, when you flip this over, you find out that the bottom looks very, very plain and very smooth, and that's one of the secrets. You want to make sure you're dragging this as firm as you can, but make sure you don't rip it off. So I'll go ahead and just nail round everything round. Like I said earlier, I like to use things that you can find around. Everybody has a hammer in the house, and tack nails. You can get tack nails almost everywhere around you, so that's why I'm using this. You can also use a stapler, an industrial stapler for this, but the nail and the hammer is just perfect. So you can see this is really, really smooth, like just perfect. So we're going to set this aside and work on the tire again. So now I'll go back to my tire and it's time to place my fabric over it. So my fabric measurement was 83 by 23. So what I did was I cut out my fabric, I added extra 3 inches, and then I divided the fabric each into like 3 or 4 places, because I noticed that when you just place the fabric over it like that, since it's a circle, it won't really look very neat. So it's best you divide the fabric into different sections, about 4 or 3 or 4 sections, so that it can look really okay on the tires. And that's what I did. And now I'm using podge or top bond, depends on what it's called where you are. And what I do is I apply the podge on the foam on the edge where I want to place the fabric on, and then I'll place the fabric on one side and I'll apply it on the other side, and then I'll place the fabric. And you notice that I'm folding the edge of the fabric to make it have like a very neat edges. I'm not leaving the fabric edge just rough. I'm making sure I'm folding it inwardly. So before I place the next fabric, I will apply my podge on the edge of the last fabric, as you can see, and then I'll place the fabric over that. Once I place the fabric over it, I would make sure I move it inwardly, then I'll tie it inside. You can also apply the glue inside and tuck the fabric inside, but it takes a lot of time to work with, but you can do it if you want to. Like I said, this project is like a last minute project, and I needed to deliver this work like that same day, but you can have the patience to tuck all the fabric in using your glue. But what I did, it's like just like a hack, I just tied it inside, since I'll be sealing up the whole centerpiece and it won't be something that will be opened. I'll make sure I seal everything so that will not show at the end of the day. So I'm tying it inwardly. I'm making sure I'm tying it very, very firmly so that the fabric looks really smooth on the surface of the tire. So this is how I'll continue placing each fabric until I've completed the circle. So just watch and see what I'm doing, and just watch it, then you understand how I did everything. So we're down to the last fabric, and you can see that the other parts are really smooth. So once I apply this, place the fabric over it, I would make sure that everything looks really perfect and just smooth on the outside. Okay, so just continue watching and see what I'll do. So the tire is to go on top of the stool. So I'll take my podge and I'll apply my podge all around the surface of the stool. Like I said, you can make your stool really tall or very short, whatever length you want. You can just, like, it's your preference. You can make it really high or low. Okay, so you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. So I'm applying this Mod Podge all around the stool. You can also use your glue, but like I said earlier, my glue broke and I ran out of glue, so that's why I'm using the Mod Podge. They both work very okay, just that the glue glues really faster than the Mod Podge. So I placed the tire on top of the stool, and then I'm going to take something like a scraper to make sure everything is well tucked in. Like any fabric that's folding out, I'll push it in to make sure that looks really neat. Once I have done with the final touches to the top, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'll apply it all around the top like I did for the stool. And you want to make sure you apply enough of this because this is going to be permanently closed. Okay, so another time I'll make another video of how to do it in such a way that you have a storage where you can open it and put any stuff you want inside. But this is a permanently closed stool, so you want to make sure you put enough Mod Podge around it so that you can have it like closed for a long time. So that's what I did. So once I do this, I'll take the top of the stool and I'll cover this up, and then I'll take some really heavy object, I'll place it on it so that it can really stay glued, and I'll leave this for like 12 hours. Okay, like 12 hours. You can see that this looks really nice. This is the final work. The only thing left is just for us to wait for it to get glued, and once it's glued, you won't see the white fabric glue stuff. The Mod Podge won't be showing. Everything will just look really clear and neat. So this is the final work. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so happy that I finally got to do this video. Thank you so much. See you in the next class. Bye bye.